This is Fred Beck from Fred Talks Fighting, proudly sponsored by Empire Fight Store and joining London Shoot Fighters today by Alexis. Alexis, good to see you again.
Good to see you, mate.
The last time I interviewed you was on Fight Week for JJ vs Swarms. It's been a while. Fight Week's approaching us. We've got less than a month left.
Yeah.
How you been?
Yeah, very well. Just busy at the gym with all the fighters. Obviously, in full swing with JJ's camp now. So everything's looking forward to the fight now. I think obviously we're in the toughest part of the camp now, where we're doing the most amount of the rounds and sort of the hardest part of the conditioning, and then kind of knuckling out all the issues that we've got and moving around some of the reassessing the sparring and then re-sparring the same guys if we've made any mistakes and corrections. So this is kind of like the roughest and toughest part of the camp.
Obviously, it's quite a tough part of the camp. How do you make sure that JJ doesn't peak at the wrong time and he peaks at the right time?
Yeah, interesting. We have around 70 to 100 professional fights a year.
Yeah.
So we're really, really good at making sure guys produce their best ever performances on fight night. So overboarding fighters is something that does happen if you haven't got the experience in dealing with that. Luckily, we have the highest level boxers and the highest level MMA fighters and jiu-jitsu fighters as well. And in this gym, there's such an array of different disciplines that we've kind of worked out a really good way of doing it. So you can always tell if guys are peaking or how they're peaking by how they're lifting, how their endurance is with their cardio and how they're sparring, and then their recovery runs. So we assess it all. So we've got a big diary for each fighter, and every fighter gets put through the numbers, and we figure out where they're at. So at the moment with JJ, as an example, he's running the best he's ever ran distance-wise. He's lifting the most he's ever lifted rep-wise.
What's his 5K?
He's nearly a sub-18 runner.
Okay, that's pretty. That's like me.
I think he was 18, 10. Now he's going under. He's going to be going under that. But I mean, if I'm brutally honest with you, he's got a sub 17 in him. He's a very fast runner.
What's yours?
Mine's 16:55.
Oh, yours is 16.
55, yeah.
Oh wow, blimey, that's actually quite impressive.
Yeah, not bad. But I've done it my whole life, so I get to have the experience of messing up loads and loads of times and not timing it correctly and being bad at it. And then after 25, 30 years of doing the same run, if I'm not good at it, there'll be an issue. So I have to be good at it.
What's your brother's one?
He's a sub 19 runner.
Okay, you're quicker.
Yeah, he's a sub 19 runner. But he's it's a question, bro. You gotta be truthful.
Who's the quickest out of everyone in this gym for 5K?
Oh, we've got some very quick guys.
What's Michael Venom Page's one?
He's a sub 18 runner as well.
What's Idris Virgo's one?
To be fair, Idris is a sub 19 runner.
Oh, so not quicker than JJ.
No, not quicker than JJ. Nope.
It's winding Idris up. So I've interviewed loads of different coaches, from MMA coaches like John Kavanagh to boxing coaches like Peter Fury. What do you think makes your coaching style so unique and you get so many fighters down here to train?
I think I'd like to say it's the results. I'd like to say that one coach, if you have one coach and they've got one really great fighter, you can say that's a great coach, or you could say maybe that's a very talented kid. Right? But when you've got a gym full of fighters that are winning, and a gym full of fighters that are winning Olympic golds, world championships, fighting the best guys on the planet, best in jiu-jitsu, in ADCC, and we've had an array of guys all the way to the top, and I think that pays testament to our coaching ability. Two reasons. One, we're really dedicated at our jobs. We're not part-timers. This is what we do for a living full-time.
You told me earlier you're missing Christmas for this. You're training on Christmas Day, you're coaching.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I had Christmas. It's not
like 20 years.
Yeah, for us, we celebrate after fights. We're prize fighters. That's what we do. We celebrate after we get that prize. There are no days off, and there are no easy runs with us. I think that the most important thing is that one, we're dedicated, but two, we're not arrogant in that we look at things. We look at winning ways, and we take and we adapt and we use those winning ways. So a lot of coaches are stuck in their ways, and they produce a champion, but not so many. But when you look at as far as gyms go, we've got like 15, 20 time world kickboxing champions. We've got boxing world champions. We've got jiu-jitsu world champions. Wrestlers that went to the Olympics. We've got such an array of athletes. It shows that us as coaches, we're not stuck in one way. And I think a lot of the time when you look at a gym, going back to your question about why do we have so many fighters, it's genuinely because I've got girls, women that have won ABA national championships in boxing, to guys that have won nationals, to guys that have gone to the Olympics, to guys that we have such an in-depth knowledge of combat because we've been doing it our whole lives and we're passionate about it. I think that's what draws people to the gym, and that's why we have such success.
So there's been a lot of kind of questions asked about if JJ's having a boxing fight, why does he pick an MMA gym to train at? Yeah. What would your answer be to that?
interesting enough, I mean, we all started off as boxers. So we coached David Hay, and this guy's undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world, heavyweight champion of the world. Derek Chisora, recently against Tyson Fury, we were in the coaching team. To Dylan White, so we've got 3 of the best heavyweights in the country, and that's just heavyweights, let alone all the middleweights and all the light heavies and cruisers that we've got at the moment. We've boxed our whole lives, so we're very good at boxing. But the answer, I think, is that JJ is not fighting traditional boxers just yet. He's also fighting fighters. So Dylan's an MMA fighter, and he's a world-class grappler. So he's a world-class competitor. He's great at something. He fought MMA, hasn't lost in a big organisation as Bellator, reputable organisation. So I think picking this gym, number one, we get along. Number two, he sees the coaching that we give. We're not just giving him coaching. A lot of coaches, you're right in that JJ's been to Mayweather's gym, he's been to Freddie Roach's. He's not like he hasn't been everywhere in the world. He's been everywhere in the world. And why has he chosen us? I'd like to think it's because we prove our point. So we teach something and then we say, okay, we spar it live. Let's see if this works. Because you can look $1 million on the pads, but if you can't do what you're doing on those pads in that ring to somebody, then our job is useless. So we put our money where our mouth is. And a lot of coaches don't do that. A lot of coaches will wait till the payday, take their 10% and be like, oh, you just had a bad day, or yeah, you just made a mistake. Or for us, we don't get paid. If sparring's not good, you're not fighting. We don't get paid. We don't fight. If you're not doing what we want, then why should we fight? If you're not winning those rounds in the gym, if you're not improving, which there's no phoniness, you can't lie about that. You can't get in the ring with another killer that wants to knock you out and that be fake. There's no fakery in it, which I think is something that's really important to JJ, because he's a very competitive person and he wants to know whether he's going to win or not. He wants to know if he's doing the right thing or not. I think the fact that we have sparring sessions very often and he gets to prove his point and he gets to prove my point as a coach, I think that's what draws him to the sport of boxing, and he loves it as well. So.
Yeah, he certainly does love it. But you say kind of Dylan Dennis is a world-class competitor. He's a competitor in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah. Ben Askren was world-class in wrestling, but he got knocked out by Jake Paul. Absolutely. So do you not see it kind of going the same way of JJ and Dylan?
How I see it going and what I'm preparing for are very two different things. I see JJ standing over another person, 100%. I see JJ knocking out Dylan Dennis. But, it depends how Dylan wants to fight. Dylan could grab and hold and smother the fight. He's got enough combat experience. He could be hard work. It's like catching a guy cold is one thing, but Dylan's been sparring with Conor McGregor, likes of Conor McGregor in other gyms, and he's been sparring for his MMA career. He's a real tough guy, and what I can't do as a coach is downplay how tough he is, and you can't downplay how tough Ben Askren is, because he's ripped the Bellator roster to shreds and went to ONE FC, and he was great. He just had a bad night in the office potentially. It happens to people, but for us as coaches, we're not banking on that bad night. Yeah. We've got to bank on consistency. We've got to bank on it going completely the other way around and us being down in the rounds and us losing and us fighting from those bad positions. That's how you coach. You don't coach from winning positions. You coach from every negative aspect of it, so that when JJ gets in that ring, there's nothing that he hasn't been exposed to that's going to surprise him. So that's how I feel that we have to coach to make winners. The most important thing is finding a win in an unwinnable situation. And that's what we specialize in. Our job is to go out there. Every fight for us, it can't be we're only fighting this guy, or we're fighting a Mexican boxer with Pineda. We don't know who he is. Or we don't swarm. I've never seen the guy box. You got to assume that they're all killers and work your way from there. You can't assume that they don't know what they're doing. Or Ben Askren's just a wrestler. He dealt with the whole of the roster in Bellator and the whole of one. He's a killer. And Dennis is legit. He's undefeated. He doesn't know how to lose, and he's world class. And whenever you're a world class competitor at something, it means you know how to compete, and that's very important. Because some guys don't compete well. Some guys, game day, they can look great in the gym, but game day, they freeze up a little bit. Dylan's not going to do that.
More gym fighters rather than actual fighters.
Yeah, and Dylan's not going to do that. He performs on the big show, But this is a very big show. And everyone's come out to see KSI. And KSI is going to put on a show. And that's what he does. And the thing about JJ is he levels up on game day. Like whatever you see in the gym, this kid levels up again. Yeah, he's got more power, more speed. He levels up. He really performs on the day, so it's a good thing to have as a fighter.
It certainly is a good attribute. I'll let you go in a couple of minutes, but I do want to get your thoughts on this. Dylan Dennis did an interview last night with Ariel Helwani, who's quite a well-known MMA reporter, and I think Dylan stated along the lines of, don't quote me on this, but saying he's got no home gym and no head coach. He's kind of going around lots of little gyms, training on lots of different people. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, you never know what to make with people's the art of war. You don't listen to what someone says. You know, you watch what they do and how they act and what they're like on you know, shadowboxing and combat and what I've seen of him. You know, he's a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't take anything from anything he says. We're expecting the best version of Dylan Dennis on the 14th of January, and you will 100% get the best version of JJ on that night. And that's what we're looking to do. So I'm not too interested in what he's saying. I believe that he's going to be in great shape. I believe he's coming to fight, and I believe he thinks he can win. And those are the things that we're going to be coaching against.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Alexis, I'll see you on fight week.
Done deal.
I was going to say have a nice Christmas, but it's a little
Well,
while.
nice Christmas. Get to do what I love, which is be in the gym around great people, giving everything they've got to a sport that I love. So I'm over the moon.
Awesome. Happy for Alexis. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
No problem.